Heyo.
How about them Gators?
Heyo. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. I'm your host for the evening show, Pete Walker. And of course, our boys got it done. The Florida Gators got a W underneath their belt. Looked clean, looked good. I think it was everything we expected. I'm sure there's some people out there that were so frustrated, wanted more. I think they wanted some more air raid attack from Mr. Heismertz and the boys. We got a little bit of it, but not too much of it. But the run game was electric. Over 300 yards rushing. We saw Trayon Webb. We saw Montrell Johnson. We saw Trevor Etienne Eaton. And we even saw Mr. Battle back there getting the job done. Also fumbled the ball and caused us to lose our blowout. But that's besides the point. No need to, open up any old wounds there. Happy to have you here on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. We recap the McNeese State game and start to dip our toe in to the next Saturday game against Tennessee, which will be at 7 o'clock in the Swamp. And yours truly will be there. I'm working on some situational stuff now to possibly host a tailgate party and a tailgate show literally out of the back of my tailgate. That is the game plan as of now. So I will, once I get the details of where I plan to be, I'll be letting you know. So if you're going to be there, I want to see your beautiful faces. Come on down. Come say, hey, let's get bug nasty with it. Trying to get tickets to the game. Going to be probably the only game that I actually go to. So, a lot of good stuff. Ready to rock and roll as we round up, getting ready to go into week 3. Cressley, who did our call-in show last night, says, I won't back down, is ready for next week. The buddy already learned it. Buddy came on last night and threw together a piano solo that was absolutely incredible. And we told him, hey, you got to learn Won't Back Down. He's got a voice of an angel. So he's going to be our singer next week. Excited for that, man. Good stuff. Sorely had a loss in the family. I'm sorry to hear that, but we were wondering where you were, man. Everybody was wondering where you were for the tailgate party to send us off last night. But happy to have you here today, big guy. Happy Sunday again. I love seeing you guys. Jaguars got the dub too, which we'll have our Jaguar show at 7:35. So make sure you guys, if you guys are into the NFL, want to come by and hang out, be sure to do that. But before we do, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new here, and without further ado, let's dive right into what we're going to talk about today. So how do we feel after week 2 up against Old McNeese State boys and girls? Look, a lot of good things that I liked. I think what we saw was Billy was able to go through his progressions, through his system, and execute. I mean, I swear to goodness, if I hear that word one more time from the players, from the coaches, execute. I think we saw that. I think we also saw, there was a couple times where Mertz hit the check down. We're like, we want to see some more flash. We want to see you sling the ball up in the air. But again, we also complained because Anthony wouldn't just hit the check down and hit the natural progression, just put the safety play. That's what Mertz was doing last night. In an interview, Pearsall did say they were playing 3 high safety, which kind of shut down the throws over the top a little bit, which is, again, why we saw the check down play. Love the play calling. Had a little more pizzazz to it. We saw Eugene get the ball a lot more. Eugene Wilson, as you can see here in the clip, getting his first touchdown. A frustrating thing for me, I think, and all of us, again, is something that I talked about last week, being too scripted. I don't believe that he went away from that. I don't think he should have went away from that against McNeese State because obviously things were moving in the right direction. You didn't need to. But that play we just saw Eugene Wilson score on, we didn't see it again. Now, would you want to show it again up against McNeese State for someone else to see it? Probably not. And that I understand that. Princely obviously getting a sack, finally starting to break through. Look, these games are important. We talked about these little cupcake games. It's great to get through the motion. It's great to go through the reps. One penalty on that defense. Now, towards the end of the game, there was more defense, but I'm talking about the starting line. That one defense offsides from Princely. Other than that, a very clean game. Loved seeing that huge progression from week 1 to week 2. Right? Again, I know it's McNeese State, and I want to quit prefacing that, but still. Huge for us to be able to bounce back and not have any mistakes or anything stupid that would, just cause us to continue to shoot ourselves in the foot. I think the first 7 drives, including a 99-yard drive, Gators went down and scored. Loved that. I love the 99-yard drive. That really excited me, again, to show the fact, something we haven't seen, that we can move the ball, right, effectively, control the offense, I think we had 1 3rd down and 10, converted it to a 12-yard completion to Ricky Pearsall. I think that actually might have been it right there. We did have 1 bomb over the top to Ricky Pearsall, about a 45-yard throw that went in for a touchdown as well. I think that's coming up here after this play late in the 3rd quarter. I wanted 50. I think a lot of us wanted more. I wanted 50 again, but this is the style. This is what they do. They just wear you down, run and gun, put it down your throat. Here's the touchdown throw, I think. Oh, nope, just kidding. And that's exactly what they did. Allowed the defense to stay fresh. The defense allowed the least amount of yards in the past since 86 games, I believe was what Billy said in his press conference. Here's the big throw from Mertz. So, again, loved that. Again, McNeese State, but 86 games. We've played Eastern Washington. We've played some shitty teams in those 86 games. And this was the least amount that we've lit up. So you got to think that that's going to be exciting for the Florida Gators and that defense really starting to find itself. A few things I would like to still see, though. We need a big play on defense. We need a pick. We need a fumble recovery. I want to see the defense, that nasty bunch that was nicknamed in Southern Miss. I want to see that come alive a little bit more, and hopefully it comes alive in Tennessee. We're going to need a big defensive stop, right? A big play, a big turnover, a pick, a fumble to really just ignite that defense into believing that, hey, we are the real deal. Offense, they've had that this past week, right? The running game got going, over 300 yards rushing. Mertz kind of had his thing week 2. Him and Pearsall seem to be syncing up a little better. With the addition of Eugene going into this week, again, starting him more is going to take the pressure off Ricky Pearsall, because you have to now respect Eugene Wilson. Arliss Boardingham, when he laid that young man, I had 1 catch for 8 yards. It was the most electrifying 1 catch for 8 yards I've ever seen in my entire life. Put that man in the football game. Dante Sanders, scoot over. There's a new sheriff in town, and his name's Arliss, okay? Put that man in the football game and throw it to him. Odom, loved what they're doing with Odom. Love the pacifier play. They just look in, just check downs to Odom, leaving him out there. Again, a safety throw. If nothing else is open, give it to him. I love the little 4 or 5 dots to Odom. It eats and beats the tearaways up out of team. Look, we hate when we do it because it's not exciting, right? It's not electrifying. However, Utah is exactly how they beat us. They just beat the living. They just kind of tiptoed. Ricky even reiterated again. He felt that they beat themselves against McNeese State. Watching Utah versus Baylor, I 1,000% believe that we destroyed ourselves. Again, not taking anything away from Utah, because I don't want to hear you Utah fans and you guys are still pouting. We lost. It is what it is. But Utah did not impress me against Baylor, and Baylor isn't anything to write home about either. So we clearly beat ourselves, and it was good that we were able to fix those things. Now, can we keep that same composure going into week 3 against Tennessee? We're going to get into that. But I do want to note, it is week 3. So we have waited all year, right, this entire 2023 season since basically January for it to be here. And we're already in week 3. So let's all just appreciate what's happening, because this shit's flying by. Before we know it's going to be we're going to be in Jacksonville against the Dogs, and we're halfway through this damn thing. So let's take it easy. Let's slow it down and appreciate that we get football on Saturdays, boys and girls, because week 3 literally is right around the corner. But yes, Nicholas Whitener, smash the like button, boys. Only 25 likes in here. Let's show some love and drop the like, and let's get it going here. Let's see here. I do want to talk about a little about what Billy said. So Billy's thoughts on his week. On week 2, he spoke about it a little bit. There was a great question. He said, hey, asked about running the ball more. Was that more and so of getting confidence for the offensive line, or was it more so confidence for the running back play, or was it finding your identity? Is this something that you were hoping to have week 1 because of how the game rolled out? You were unable to find that identity? Billy avoided the question masterfully. I quit listening because I was like, did he even hear the question? That's how offlandish his answer was. That I was like, I don't even think he just didn't even care what the person asked, because he doesn't want to answer that question, and I get that. But I thought it was pretty funny. Point of emphasis on an extremely clean game. He did mention that again. I think that was a big thing. Things of concern, because somebody said, hey, what are your things of concern going into week 3? Which is something we talked about going into week 1. It's the youth. It's the youngins on this football team, and just the mental errors that you have to expect him to make. Now, we said, hey, why isn't Andy Jean? Why aren't we seeing these guys some more? I can't remember where it was, but at the end of the game, Andy Jean made a little bit of a slip up. And I think that's where these younger guys like myself and Gene, I think they're not 100%. They've got the talent there, just not the football. No. Eugene Wilson looks night and day different compared to those guys. I think they all have elite speed. I think they have a lot of talent in them. But Eugene Wilson, remind you, came in June. These other guys have been there since January. He is in that starting role for a reason. He looks like he's been playing college football for a very long time. I don't know what it is. It's just he passes the eye test. He's got everything clicking for him. TJ Searcy, another guy who looked really good the other night. Scooby Williams, and we'll get into some big notable players, but Scooby Williams looked phenomenal as well. Filling up the gaps, had more speed from Scooby as well. So love that. Here's another great question. How do they plan to get ready for Tennessee? And when listening to it, because again, it's very vanilla, it's very basic, but I realized as I was listening to it, maybe we overcomplicate things. We and people in general always overcomplicate things, right? Because we're trying to just make something what it isn't. And they asked him, so how do you plan to get ready for week 2? And he goes, you got to go map out each day and have a plan, right? Just have a plan and execute that plan. That was literally all that he said. And they go, look, what he's honestly saying is like each day we're going to have from Sunday to Saturday, something's going to be going on. There's going to be a plan. There's going to be a schedule. And all they have to do is execute that plan. Keep it simple, stupid. If you wake up on Sunday, hey, at 2 o'clock's this, 3 o'clock's this, boom, 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 boom. Monday, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, boom. Tuesday, boom, boom, boom. Before you know it, it's Saturday. You haven't even had a chance to comprehend that, hey, this is a massive game, 7 o'clock, whatever. And come Saturday, you're such in a routine of just following this agenda that has been laid out for you for the last 6 days that you just roll into Saturday saying, hey, it's time to play football. We're prepared for this. You can't even wrap your mind or grasp what's happening. I think that's something that's huge, and I think that's what he was trying to say without saying it. It's like, look, we're going to continue to do what we're going to do. It doesn't matter if it's Tennessee on Saturday, if it's Charlotte on Saturday, if it's LSU on Saturday. Our play calling will change, right? But how the players will go through their weekly basis and with their weekly regimen, they're going to keep doing them so they don't get too caught up in it. That's how I read that when he said that. Again, not much there, but you got to think that's what he was trying to say without, actually saying it. So, loved it. Again, very vanilla press conference per usual from Billy. You can kind of tell his body language is like, whatever. I think he was frustrated about that 7 points, as we all were. We didn't cover. Florida didn't cover because of that. And I think we and himself really wanted to blow out. I think they wanted to shut that down. We should have. We should have been able to shut it down, but it is what it is. What can we expect for week 2? So we got Tennessee obviously coming up. Followed after that is Charlotte. Both going to be home games for the Florida Gators. That Tennessee game is going to be at 7 o'clock. And then Charlotte, I don't know if the time is out for that game yet, but we've got Tennessee coming up. That's going to be a massive game. What are we hoping to see? We're going to see more run. We're going to see passing. I think we're going to see a little bit of what we saw this past week against McNeese State with possibly a little bit more throwing. I think we went one side on week 1 and the other side on week 2. But if we can do what we did against McNeese State, and again, I know it's McNeese State, but if we can rush for over 300 yards, and this is what we've talked about all offseason, right? The run game, put in a quarterback that can handle it, not overreact, hit his checkdowns, and keep the ball moving, right? And not make any mistakes. Outside, I think he had 2 drops. So I think he had 3 or 4 incompletions, and 2 of them were drop passes, one being by Dante Sanders, and I can't remember the other drop pass, but necessarily not his fault, right? Where they were just great passes. Mertz played an extremely clean game as well. And that's exactly what we wanted him to do. So week 1, we showed he can go out there and throw 44 times for 300 plus yards if need be, right? And then this past week, he showed us everything we thought he would be, which was a game manager, Alex Smith-esque type, right? Hit your checkdowns, hit your quick little slants, hit your little bubble routes, and let the guys around you do those, make those moves happen. There's a lot of plays last night that I saw that we called with Anthony. 2 things. 1, Anthony, and he did it today against the Jaguars, and we'll get into that on our Sunday show, either zipped it, 99 miles an hour over his head a little bit, or he would hit them, but the wide receiver talent was not what it is right now. And again, Eugene Wilson makes that much of a difference. There was plenty of times last night where he was out there in the field all by himself, had 2 defenders in front of him and split him for about 5 or 6 yards, where last year I mean, you would have saw Shorter, one of those guys trying to, do a little do-si-do before, they're getting sat down 2 or 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage versus going north and south, which is what Eugene did all night last night. So, again, we're getting the tight ends more involved, which I'd like to see. I feel like we didn't do enough of that. We complained about that last year. Why don't we use our tight ends more? We need more tight ends. We need that Brock Bowers, somebody to dump it off to. We don't have a Brock Bowers talented tight end. I think Boardingham is going to grow into something special, but we don't have a Brock Bowers. So Brock Bowers did a lot of things special just by getting him the football. Odom is not going to do anything special. He'll protect the ball. He's a big boy. He'll go north and south, but he's not going to do anything crazy like Brock Bowers would. So what to expect? I think the exact same thing. Again, for the defense, though, you have to want to see some big stops. Milton, I'm not completely sold on him. Tennessee fans, they're in here. They're rowdy. They're excited. TJ, let's haven't heard from him in a while. He's in here running his mouth. Good to see you there, bud. But look, I think with Milton, with the last 2 games, Virginia and Peavy, he kind of gives you that sense of the Anthony Richardson, extremely talented quarterback. But a lot of these guys that are coming into the league right now almost have this run-first mentality. Milroe was the exact same thing. He's a running back that can sling the football. Doesn't have that quarterback ability, in my opinion, to get it done, and he showed that against Texas. Milton, I think, is more talented than Monroe. I'm not comparing them to the same guy. But, look, I think if we're able to rattle Milton, which he hasn't had to deal with that just yet, I want to see how he handles that, right? He's not Hendon Hooker. That's a fact. But their defense, they looked good against Virginia. Tennessee's did. They were shutting down Virginia. Virginia doesn't have much to work with. But, again, if you're a Tennessee fan, and I know they're going to be running their mouths, you can't sit here and tell me that, hey, Milton is this incredible quarterback. He's not even, the Heisman doesn't mean anything, but there's not even a conversation for him being a top-tier quarterback. I think going into the season there was, but he hasn't done anything in these first 2 weeks, which he hasn't played anybody, right, that should excite you for something like moving forward. That's just me being reasonable. I'm not trying to take a shot. That's just an honest opinion. Like, look, I wouldn't be that excited. I know you as Tennessee fans should expect to beat Florida, and that's fine. There's a lot of Florida fans that are expecting Florida to lose to Tennessee. We had on our call-in show last night. But what I've seen thus far in 2 weeks, and again, I'm not watching it like other Tennessee fans are, I'm not sold on it. I'm being honest with you. And, I think a lot of Gator fans kind of settled down after that week 1, especially now after week 2, seeing how the SEC is. Everyone's saying now, hey, every team feels beatable. And that's kind of what I think I was trying to say week 1 is that, and the question, why? Why do we feel this way? The transfer portal and NIL have a lot to do with it. Teams are flipping a lot more than what they had been. You got a lot of teams, I think, not just the Florida Gators, that are, a 180 from what they were the year before that just because of the portal. And these coaches are having a hard time dealing with that transition, and some coaches figured it out. Lane Kiffin, he was already on that train. Pun intended, Lane train. Mike Norvell, Lincoln Riley. Those 3 guys are way ahead of the 8 ball in the sense of the transfer portal. So they have this ability to bring in new talent and figure out that quick turnaround, where other coaches in college have kind of created this little flow, that flow seems to have a little bit of a kink in it right now. And I think that's what we're seeing in the SEC. That could be, maybe a little off here or there, but I think that's where we're at currently with the state of SEC. But we will see. Make sure you guys, again, drop a like, subscribe. Happy to see all of your beautiful faces here. But look, you see this upcoming schedule here against Tennessee, then rolling into Charlotte. This Tennessee game is pretty big for this season here and where we're headed. It's going to be a big confidence booster. Love that it's at home again, underneath the lights, the new LED lights to boot. Florida goes in here, gets this W against Tennessee, rolls into Charlotte, obviously another W. Then we roll into, I think it's Kentucky, Vandy, and South Carolina. Not in that particular order, but that's the next 3 games that we're looking into. South Carolina, we've all agreed that looks beatable. At one point, that game looked a little scary. Kentucky does not look very scary at all. And that game, I feel we lost ourselves last year. We should easily beat Kentucky. Vandy is not looking what they were last year either, losing pitifully to Wake Forest. So all of a sudden now, we've got about 4, we could go into possibly rolling into that Georgia game, which is what I was saying all along. I said undefeated. I thought we could get past Utah with 1 loss. And now all of a sudden, we're, it's going to be nuts again. Now, I know it's a long way down the road, but this game is a very pivotal game because you got a number 9 team coming into your house. You pull a massive upset. You got to think that puts Florida as a ranked team. Not that I care about any of that at that moment in time, but you got to think that it will. But it's just that belief that you can get it done and starting to realize, like, look, everyone is beatable. That's why you play the games. This is exactly why I am the way that I am. Now, and when I say that, hey, I believe that we can win, because each week, each year that transitions is a whole new rule of things. It's not like the NFL where you kind of have this progression or degression depending on what's happening with coaches and players. College is a way bigger up and down just because kids leave, and a lot of kids leave, and it changes the entire dynamic of a locker room, the culture, etc. I think that's what we're seeing right now. A lot of young guys on the football field, though. That is what is concerning. But if we're able to go into this game against Tennessee at home, we're going to have a lot of young guys out there playing again. If they're able to show themselves, hey, we can get it done, we can beat this team with the pressure on, those young guys will, it's that old saying goes, how to grow up quickly, will grow up very quickly and realize, like, hey, I'm the real deal. It doesn't matter that you have an F next to your name, meaning freshman, right? Or an SO as a sophomore. We're the real deal. I have enough talent to play at this level. I can do this. And that's all you need sometimes is to get it rolling. I'm glad we had this game to be able to get it going as well. Man, I wish I could go to the UF Tennessee game. For those of you that just getting here, I will be there. We are going to be doing a tailgate party. That's my goal right now. I've been working with my buddy Cam to set this up, to do a tailgate pre-show out of the back of my tailgate of my truck. That is the game plan right now. So I will be there. Hopefully we can get a ticket to the game and rock and roll. Nicholas says 6-1 roll into the cocktail party. That's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to tell these boys, you know what I'm saying? Get the ball going. Get it rocking and rolling. I do want to talk about some players to watch out for in the coming week, I guess you could say. Shamar James, a lot of big open field tackles last night. Really excited to see him. Keep watching this young man grow and develop in that position, in that linebacker position, as a leader on the defense as well. Somebody who is, again, he's the Ventrell Miller, right? Really kind of growing into that role. Excited to see. Keep an eye out for him. Scooby Williams. Scooby Williams was all over the football field last night, filling up gaps left and right, open field tackles, making great tackles. Again, love what I saw from him. Just overall, the linebacker play looked exceptional. That linebacker room is what we've talked about. Quantity is there, and quality is starting to grow, which is also exciting, because I think we had, with the departure of Ventrell and Bernie, we had concerns in that linebacker room. Not to mention, boys, the class that is coming in, bro, is unreal. Aaron Childs, Miles Graham, and Adarius Hayes. Son, got to be excited, man. There's a lot of things to be excited about. Jakeem Jackson playing quarterback last night. There was a play where he made a huge stop, and the announcer even says that, look, another year under his belt, he turns and he picks that off, but right now he's playing very disciplined. He looked exceptional, looked very calm, collective. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some more of him come into that Tennessee, especially with the departure of Jadarius Perkins. So just keep an eye out for those three guys. Those are my three watch guys for the next week. I'm sure there's plenty of guys you can keep your eyes on. But again, the Rickies, the Eugene Wilson, I think he's off the watch list, and now he's on the list. You know what I mean? And these guys, I feel like Shamar, we've kind of been talking about, but I think I want to see him really be electric, right? What we think or thought or, want Princely to be. Princely hasn't really been, electric, but mind you, he is the catalyst of that defense that everybody was talking about offseason. Everybody's got something planned up for Princely. Double team him all over the football field. So it's on the other guys to step up, and that's what I saw last night. It's like, look, Princely is taking up half this football field here. You guys got to fill in your hole, right? Sometimes that's being an elite player. You may not get all the stats, but you're allowing your teammates to do their job as well, which then will eventually open things back up for Princely for him to do his job. So, and we saw last night Princely was able to, get a sack and start to be more effective, because when they all just side up to Princely, the holes filled up with Scoobies, with Tyreek Sapp, with TJ Searcy. So those things, again, are very exciting for where the defense is headed. What I am excited to see is the Miami fans all of a sudden back in the chat. Like, you can't make this stuff up. They get a W, and all of a sudden their YouTube accounts are activated. I love that you guys won. Happy for you. But y'all little bitch asses, y'all ain't been here in about a minute. Know your role. Know you're like a damn FSU fan. Y'all turn your shit off and go away for 6 months, and all of a sudden, when we coming back, get up out of here, man. I'm here, win or lose, taking the lashings. That's how it should be. I'll allow you to talk. That's fine. But don't be coming in here after you've been MIA. Like, come on now, you better than that. You better than that. Linebackers, you Wilson, running backs, and cornerbacks, I was impressed. Look at Q Lee. Even Q Lee's even fired up, boys. Q Lee was even wearing his Gator scarf. He didn't call in last night, which I was upset, but it is what it is, Q. Guess we'll have to live to see another day. You know what I mean? Live to see another day. But hey, I want to know who's going to that game. So comment down below if you're not watching this live. If you're going to go to Tennessee, we'd love to see you. Snap a pic or two. Hang out. And again, I'm trying to get a ticket to go to the game. Probably the only game I go to this year. And blow that roof off, boys. Have a good time. Sing a little Tom Petty with the boys. And should be fun. But we have a show again at 7:35. It is our Jacksonville Jaguars show. We're going to obviously go over Anthony Richardson a little bit because he played against the Jaguars. He looked like Anthony Richardson. Kind of give you a quick little summary of what I thought. I think he had moments of greatness, and then things kind of got a little razzle-dazzle, and he's yet to pass the guy. But all things that can be fixed. These are things that, this isn't hating. These are just things that I think he needs more time on, and that just is what it is. But thankfully, I think the Colts are in a position that they're completely bought in and will be patient and give him time. And I think that where he's at in Indianapolis, they believe in him and want him to do well. But he did get injured in the last play of the game, or like right before the last play of the game, like with 50 seconds left. I don't know the severity of it yet, but he did not finish the game the last 3 snaps because he was trying to run the ball and he was going north and south and really putting his heart on the line. So we will see. LSU's overrated. Look, LSU looks beatable, man. Georgia looks beatable. Too. So we'll see. We will see. A wise guy says, I'm season pass holder. Let me know the location. Me and Pops will swing by. Yeah, for sure. It's either going to be in the O'Connell Center parking lot, like 283, I think, like up front there by the Gator Walk, or it's going to be right next to the Gator Walk where all the RVs typically are. Those are the 2 spots that we're looking at right now that I'm working on being at. So wherever we're at, we're going to be pretty close right there in the beginning. Was there last night. Was very excited to see us all almost packed out. Yeah, that was awesome to see, Scars. That was really cool to see a game that, it's McNeese State. Being at night helps for sure because, I think if it's noon, nobody's getting up for that. That's just going to be miserable. But noon game, it's always a good time. It's just it's a hangout area. But after losing Utah, you'd think there'd be some frustrations going on. But no, I loved seeing the fact that, they were five. The safety, oh, man, Austin Armstrong was all dazzled up after that safety. And that was exciting too, man. The D-line having some success there. But again, I want to see some more speed from the D-line. I don't know what it is. It's just that eye test that I saw. I felt like I saw it more at Orange and Blue game. Felt like they were faster. They don't feel like they have that explosiveness, but I don't know. Look, you can't really complain about last night. It was damn near perfect up to the end there, but we're talking 4th and 5th string guys at that point. So I can't think of the guy's name. Battle was his last name. I can't think of his first name. But Utah greater than A&M. A&M is trash. I've been trying to tell you about A&M. Nobody wanted to listen. Auburn didn't look fantastic against California either. They almost lost that game. California has a quarterback as a running back as well too. What do you think of new LEDs? I liked it. Get a little flavor to it. Spices it up. It's got to be something cool, man. We got to keep moving on with the age. So Marshall got us some great seats for next week, and I'll fly out of Colorado Springs Thursday morning. Let's go to Priest. The Priest family is going to be there. So I was like, I got to go. They're going to be there. You know what I mean? So, well, boys and girls, I appreciate y'all coming in here on this Sunday afternoon. Happy to see you all, your beautiful faces in here. Make sure you can drop a like, show some love if you guys are enjoying the content. We're cranking it out, pushing it out, so we're having a good time. It's been a hell of a first 3 weeks here for football. It's moving quick. It's going fast. But you guys be good. Love you. Wrong button. God bless. And again, if you guys want to come back for our NFL show, it's at 7:35. So we will see you guys there. Have a good one. Go Gators.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think